concerts, costumes, and coming in from out of state. All this week on the new Jim Joe Steve Show.
Here's a story about 20 years ago. 3 bros who grew up in Baltimore to the beach show. Every summer they had to go before they got married with kids. Now they all grown. Long trips to New York and Toronto. Playing beer pong with Captain Morgan's. Free throws. And if you don't know, now you know. Coming in hot. Jim Joe Steve Show.
Hey, welcome back to a new episode of Jim Joe Steve Show. I'm Jim, and I'm sitting here with my co-hosts.
I'm Steve.
Hi.
How's it going, boys?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty well.
So today is November 2nd. How was your holiday weekend, Steve?
It was good, just kids trick-or-treating, so, dealing with my son who doesn't like attention one bit whatsoever.
Did you dress up?
No, I didn't dress. I thought about dressing up as a fire hydrant because my son was
a dog.
My one son was a dog. He was a Dalmatian, and the other one was a fireman. So we were trying to do a little bit there.
Classic.
Yeah, which he's the worst with trick or treating because he doesn't like people to acknowledge him.
Doesn't
whatsoever.
Like people. That's my kind of man.
I know, where he'll stand far enough back that you have to.
That it's awkward?
Yes, that it's awkward, and I have to carry the bag up and say trick or treat for him, and they hand me candy, and I have to constantly explain that it's for the 3-year-old behind me because he doesn't want to come up and talk to you. Which I guess in hindsight, a good thing with stranger danger.
Absolutely.
But everyone's a stranger. He has a sticker of us.
Tell me more.
He sits in his little cup holder in the back of the car. One of the Jim Joe Steve Show
that's
stickers,
awesome.
and he knows each one of us. But if he met you in person, he would be terrified. His favorite band is Eric's band. Our friend Eric, who's done the show a couple
Northbound
times.
Breakdown.
Northbound Breakdown is one of his favorite bands. He loves to listen to it every day, and he calls it Mr. Eric's Band. And then whenever
probably a better name.
Yeah, and then and then when Mr. Eric comes over, he wants nothing to do with them, and it's kind of like you're meeting your idol, but you're scared,
right?
You're terrified of him. So he's a lot of fun with that. What about your kids? You dress up for Halloween?
Yep. Izzy she's big on Stranger Things, although she's never watched a full episode. Of
Really? Because she's scared of it?
Yeah, a little bit to certain parts, because obviously you can watch an episode and 80% of it is fine, and then 20% of it, at least with the new season,
I gotcha.
It's pretty so.
But she likes it's pretty rough, like some of the stuff.
But Carter was big into Stranger Things, and Nicole and I watch Stranger Things, so she thinks that it's cool, and so she likes the character Max because of the one scene where she floats, up.
Yeah,
and that's so she was Max for Halloween. I got a cool picture I'll post up on Twitter that of her in her costume. My son was probably the coolest costume he's ever been, and he was Beavis and Butthead.
that's awesome. Which one was he?
He was Butthead. He had the AC/DC shirt. The one day I had to laugh really good, like kick ass.
Yeah.
I know. TV for my bunghole. So I was on this kick in the car and had him rolling in the back seat, him and his friend. So his one friend, Bryce, is going to be Beavis, and he's going to be Butthead.
That's awesome.
So Carter went to a teen night at his school, and they had, of course, Halloween.
Yeah.
There's so many restrictions. Absolutely zero masks. You can't, obviously nothing that relates to, no guns. So if you're an army guy, you can't bring the gun.
Yeah.
Every costume I've ever been growing up, I would not be able to take to the teen center. It was at his school, so school rules still apply.
Yeah.
When we dropped him off, we seen this kid just running around the inflatable Tyrannosaurus Rex, the dinosaur.
Oh yeah.
And I turned to my wife and I said, "How the hell does that kid get away with his entire body's covered?" She was like, "Well, there's a loophole because in the chest there's a screen so you can see their face for identification purposes."
I didn't even know that. I didn't even know there was you could see their face in it.
I guess there's a little spot.
I guess so you can see where you're going, but. What about your kids, Joe?
Joe, anything?
Pack of dogs kills a baby monkey.
I mean, if you don't want to tell us, that's fine. You always got weird things.
Not like we're recording a fucking podcast or anything.
Yeah, I know.
Just go ahead and eat your sub.
Bitch That is a chicken sandwich.
Before we get too far in the show, I wanted to, because we always forget to give shout outs to our listeners. So anybody who comments occasionally on our, if you listen on Spotify anyway, there are certain questions that sometimes relate to our show that we say, like, hey, did anybody ever experience this? Comment, and we're shout outs. I apologize in advance. We are horrible at going back and checking people who actually answer. But starting today,
Yes.
I'm turning over a new
Yes.
leaf. One, thank you for anyone who's gone back and listened to this, discovered us and thought, these guys don't suck as much as I thought. So maybe I'll check out the rest of their catalog.
Which is awesome. It's just awesome. And
So-
these are from the rapid fire episode, correct?
Yeah. So one of our, I would say maybe it's in the first 15 episodes. I don't know, but
Right,
it's pretty far back there. It's called Rapid Fire Pop Quiz, and we were talking about concerts that we've been to, specifically the worst concert we've ever been to, and I think mine was Wu-Tang. Was
yes,
my answer.
Yours was Wu-Tang.
I think, Joe, did you say, what was yours?
Slam and salmon.
Oh, forget it. His was Erykah Badu, I believe. And
I can't remember what my. I think mine was like Buck Cherry or something.
Buck Cherry, yeah,
It's
because
Buck
they didn't play
They
I
didn't-
love the cocaine. I love it.
Yeah.
Wow, this is my memory
Look
recall
at that.
today.
Look at that,
This
Joe.
is-
That's how a memory is supposed to work.
Chub, chub, chub. So, Joe, did you want to read these?
Let's get back to Steve banging a fish.
I mean, he is.
He's
He
in another
is
world
in a
today.
mood today.
Yeah, I'm in a mood. Like,
So, Candy Hegman, nice lady. Her worst concert she's ever been to was Trace Atkins. And she says, boring, geriatric, and low energy. Trace Atkins.
Don't
Doesn't
know
ring a
Tra-
bell
no,
for you?
No.
All right. Well, Trace Atkins.
Is he like a younger country star or older country
He
star?
would have been in the 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he.
Well, I get the low energy. I guess. Well, no, I say that, but then Rolling Stones and
Yeah,
they're like real active. They moves like Jagger and all that stuff.
I would love to see the Rolling Stones, and I'm not a huge Rolling Stones fan, but Trace Atkins was he's would be considered I would say an A-list country guy,
Okay.
but no longer A-list. Like he's had his time,
Yeah.
so he's like an old school.
He plays at state fairs probably now.
Yeah, I mean he doesn't probably have to do it, but he has a very unique voice, and it's kind of carried him. He's had a lot of hits.
I couldn't tell you one Trace Atkins song.
I'm pretty sure if I play this one song, I'm going to pull it up. If I play this one song, you will know the lyrics. Ring a bell?
Absolutely not.
Wait, here it comes.
Oh, the badunkadunk.
That's it.
Yes, I do know.
So,
This is the line dancing silly.
right.
the song is incredibly sexy.
The other one just threw me out of left field because maybe I could guess like Trace Atkins. Like, yeah. Well, I'll give a shout out just because user 124084429
That's not real.
they said Menudo.
The Gooch.
The Ricky Martin band when he was a little kid.
It's the space.
I don't know much about Menudo. I think
The taint.
now if there's a Menudo fan out there, please correct me if I'm wrong at Jim Joe Steve on Twitter or Facebook.
Instagram. Yeah.
Facebook. Menudo is just a rotating cast of characters. It's like a
You know
boy
what?
band that
You're
just flows.
You're absolutely. I forgot all about that. Yes.
I think they're like
That-
it's just a dancing band that they just when you age out, probably 15, they kick you out and they bring in another one, probably 13, and you
And
just
it just keeps going
you
forever.
just launches careers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That year that you're 15 and you know you're about to turn 16, you're about to get booted.
Right.
Probably sucks so much.
I couldn't tell you one song of Menudo.
All right.
But
Well, let's.
apparently they
hear-
suck in concert.
I mean, they're a whole bunch of kids.
Right. What version of Menudo?
Yeah,
Maybe
the-
you saw them in the 80s.
The Ricky Martin one was silly. So for those who, let's hear a little Menudo.
I get a like a late mid 90s dance.
Yeah, Oh, that's called Hold Me, and that came out in like 1984.
Okay. Okay. Oh,
So hopefully that's not the variation of, or that's probably the one variation of Menudo you
that might have been the
wanna
good
see.
one.
Yeah.
But those guys, I mean, 84. Those guys are like 50 now.
I know. Well, speaking of concerts, did you hear about the When We Were Young tour? Do you remember?
Oh, that was the emo. The emo.
Yes.
Emo stuff. I remember like in springtime, I saw the promo on social media and I copied and I sent it in our group chat.
Yes,
It was like,
yes.
this looks awesome. Like, let's do this. And then everyone's like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna do it, but like, looks cool.
Yeah.
And I never heard another word about it.
So it happened not this past weekend, the weekend before. The show actually happened. It was it's in Vegas. So
Is it only in Vegas? Like, you have to go to
Yeah.
Vegas to see? Like, they have multiple dates, but it's only Vegas? Or
yeah, I believe it was Friday and Saturday. The big headliners were like My Chemical Romance.
I do remember that,
Avril
yeah.
Lavigne.
Okay. She hasn't aged since, since the
Yeah.
2000s.
So people spent thousands of dollars, getting hotels and flights
Oh, yeah.
in
The
Vegas.
tickets probably were a couple $100
Yeah,
minimum.
yeah. The tickets were expensive. The Saturday morning, the gates were about to open. It was about 10 minutes before the gates opened. They canceled the show because of the wind restrictions.
Holy shit.
So-
I didn't hear that.
So I heard that morning, and Twitter and TikTok were on fire with emo
That
kids,
sucks.
emo adults being so pissed
Because
off.
nobody lives in Vegas.
No.
So to go to Vegas, it's a trip. Like, you've planned this out with multiple people. Like, nobody
Yeah.
just goes like, I'm going to fly to Vegas by myself and go. So it's probably 4
and
or
it's 2
5.
days. You're going to go both days.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's a commitment.
Yes. So they canceled it because of wind restrictions. I can't tell you whether for a fact the wind was really bad, because I would see TikToks where it looked like they were about to go to Oz, and then I would see another TikTok where someone's just filming
A mosquito flying by.
Yeah, they're filming the trees, and they're like, "Where's the wind? Where the fuck's the wind?" People were fucking losing their mind. My favorite one was there was a girl who looked at the she was sitting there, and she says, she says, "This is they canceled the When We Were Young concert, and this is the wrong demographic to do that." It's like insinuating that there's going to be a
fuck
riot.
with us?
They're going to, don't fuck with us because there's going to be a riot. I was like, no, you're just all going to cry and be sad.
You don't fuck with guys with eyeliner.
I know, but people were so fucking pissed off.
Beat you with my chain wallet.
Yeah, I know. But the thing about it was, some of the bands then panicked and went and just played free shows all over Vegas. So you could see some of them.
That's cool.
But yeah, they just were not. They were not. You felt bad. I felt bad because I was like, they were in line waiting to go into the venue, and then it canceled.
That's worse. That is the worst. The only thing that you could possibly be worse than that is if they let you in, and then you get situated, and some local radio host comes out and goes, "Yeah, sorry guys, get the fuck out."
The morning zoo in Las Vegas got to go out and tell you that. But they did refund everybody for that day, and then the show did happen on Sunday. I am not a fan of this band, but I watched them perform, like some of their set. The band Paramore.
I like her voice. There's probably maybe a song I'll listen to on the radio.
She is a legit frontman. Like, watching her like do like the crowd work and stuff. I would go see, like, I was watching it and I was just like, oh, I kind of know. I know some of their songs.
Yeah, because they play them a lot on the radio. Yeah.
And she is fucking amazing.
You'd have to eat your own ass first.
Like, she's got a really good voice. There are TikTok videos. She crip walked, like on stage, and she's crip walking, and people are breaking down how she can crip walk better than people in the crypts. I am now. I guess I'm a Paramore fan.
Joe, would you ever go see Paramore?
But
This guy's
but
another world.
I was eating so many tacos every day.
Well,
And that's why I love live music. And I've said this before. I'll go see a band who I'm not particularly crazy about because sometimes the performance,
yeah,
like anybody can put a music video together and look good. And if you're a shitty singer or you might be able to sound good in the studio, like you may be able to put out an album.
Yeah.
But when you see someone live,
I was bringing scoops of salsa.
that kind of makes it or break whether they're, a good, performer or not.
I couldn't get over how good I thought she was performing. It's not like looks or anything like that. It's just
And she is
straight,
hot.
Comes on your face.
She like holds the mic out and has people chant, but it's like that perfect amount, like where people get like fired up.
Right.
And I kept watching videos of it of that show, so I was a big fan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of concerts, I just got back from Nashville.
Oh yeah.
10 of us went out there, 5 couples. We went out to Nashville for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, flew home Sunday. It was maybe one of the best concerts I've ever been to. We saw Jason Aldean. I've seen him probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And he's great.
He was in Seinfeld.
What?
That's Jason Alexander. Sorry.
But so my favorite country singer I won't say of all time, but right now in the past 2 years has been Morgan Wallen. You probably don't know who he is, but his concert tickets are $1,000.
Holy shit!
You just can't unless you get lucky. And his tour actually just ended, but you couldn't go for less than $1,000. And that's out of my price range.
It's out of Joe's price range because it's $120.
Right, the fees are probably
fees
more.
included is $120.
But when the awesome thing about being in Nashville is everyone always tells you because it's a central location. It's not even for just country artists.
Yeah, I've been in Nashville, and it's just you just hear music, like it's all over the place.
Right.
But yeah.
But when you go see a concert there at Bridgestone is right. Bridgestone Arena is right on Broadway. Or whatever. So anyway, a lot of times people will say, "I wonder who the special guest is going to be tonight." About halfway through the show, he starts talking. He's like, I've been in Nashville. I went to pull a couple friends up on stage and maybe come out and sing a song. And he's naming all these people.
Kenny Chesney.
He did say Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan, and people were cheering, and then he pulls out Miranda Lambert, which is
she's the one that used to be married to the voice guy before he dumped her for Gwen Stefani.
Right,
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm not I would say a huge fan of Miranda, but she's an A-list country person. So she came out and sang 2 songs. And my wife really likes her, so that it's kind of like you get a second concert, somebody.
Yeah.
And then he came out and he was like, he said, this guy wrote a song for me, and I brought him out, and it was fucking Morgan Wallen, and the fucking place. When I tell you, I've never heard cheering that loud. Like it was,
Really?
it was like twice as loud than for Jason Aldean.
Because everybody just saved themselves, I don't know, $800.
Yeah, because unless you were rich, you weren't seeing Morgan Wallen. You either got to get lucky or get rich. And when he pulled him out on stage, the fucking place.
Did you lose your mind?
Oh, I couldn't stop smiling, dude. I was cheesing ear to ear. There.
Did you almost cry?
I don't know if I got to crying level, but it was. But it was like, holy shit, like I'm seeing Jason Aldean
Morgan Wallen.
and fucking Morgan Wallen. I'm telling you, the place was probably like little girls screaming from Menudo back in 1989, or the fucking Beatles.
Were the songs that he sang better than Jason Aldean? Like, is he a better performer?
I only got to see him a couple.
Okay.
Like, I think, and that's why I like Jason Aldean, because he is a performer. He's not going to go up, and he'll say this a lot on his concerts. Probably most of the concerts I've been to, like, hey, I'm not coming up here dancing. I'm not, going to do a whole bunch of, and he hates encores. He's like, fucking artists come out and, after a couple show or a couple songs at the end, they're going to leave. And then they're going to make you cheer for him to come back on stage to finish. He's like, fuck that. I'm going to play start to finish. And when I'm done, I'm out.
That's fucking awesome.
And
I appreciate
absolutely.
that.
He's like, that's all bullshit. It's all fake. It's about, they know they're coming back out.
Yeah, everyone knows that they're coming back out.
and I'm going to play as many songs as I can. When I'm done, I'm out. There was 10 of us there, and we're just going nuts. But after the show, the opener, I think his name is John Morgan, not to be confused with Morgan Wallen. John Morgan was the opener, and he doesn't have any hits, but he's an opener, right? Like he's good enough to be an opener for Jason Aldean, and maybe in a couple years you might see him or whatever. But anyway, he was out on the side of Bridgestone, just doing like meet and greets.
Oh, really? Did you have to pay to?
No, but there was like this long line, and you come up and he'll just take a picture with you. So we're all drunk, like 10 of us, just walking down the sidewalk, and I'm like, hey, there's John Morgan. All the girls that were with us just cut in front of the entire fucking line.
Really?
We didn't know that it was we're just walking out and it's just a crowd, right? Like, so it was an organized line after I saw what was happening.
Yeah,
but it just looks like there's a line and then there's just like other people standing around watching people,
which is an honest mistake. I feel like that's an honest mistake.
Yeah, like we didn't do it maliciously.
Yeah,
but I was just like, hey, you guys want a picture? And the guy's like, yeah. So I just stood there in front of him, and then the girl that was taking the picture with him rolled out, and all 5 of the girls just jumped and just.
People were probably so fucking pissed.
I have like a picture of the girl who would have been next because I'm taking it, you know, and her face is like. These motherfuckers.
She probably spent
40
minutes in line.
And we just walked up drunk as shit. Just like.
I feel like that's.
I mean, it only took like it was on, and it only took like 15 seconds. You know what I mean? It's like click, click, and then we were on. But then as they were leaving,
at what point did you realize that there was a line?
As soon as we were done, and then he like looked back to the girl that would be next, and she walked up, and then I looked at the line. I was like. Holy motherfucking God. Like like that, because no chance we would have stood in a 30.
Because waiting in line sucks.
Yeah.
For something like if you're drunk too.
Yeah. And like, he's not like obviously the headliner and he's not famous.
Yeah.
But I mean, famous enough. He played for 20,000 whatever crowd.
You recognized him from like seeing him across, like when you were walking by, you just knew who he was.
Yeah, because Jason Aldean also pulled him out.
Okay,
on stage.
Okay. So
but he's a kind of awkward looking, and he's super tall, and he has this weird kind of ugly mustache and a mullet.
Oh,
you know, so yeah, I could pick him out. You know, and now if I would have saw him before the show, I wouldn't know who he was. Mm-hmm. You know, but like after the show, he's a tall, lanky guy with a weird mustache. And there's a long line, you know, so it's like even drunk me could put 2 and 2 together on that one.
I know that's pretty awesome.
Joe, would you wait in that line?
Yeah, let's get back to Steve banging a fish.
So this week I have a little bit of dilemma, and I just want to get your opinion on it.
All
you
right.
too, Joe. So
Joe, he's talking.
I have a guest. Coming to visit,
for the holidays.
Not for the holidays, but I have a guest coming in from out of town on my wife's side.
Okay,
all right, and it's my wife's cousin. She's coming to visit. All right,
and where does she live?
She lives in Oregon.
Worldwide.
Okay,
all right. So she's coming out here,
but stay at your house.
But staying at my house. How long would you say a normal visit? Now, I will say there is an illness that, you know, she has to be here for to make sure everything goes all right. There's surgery involved with a family member.
All right. How old is this cousin?
Our age, maybe a little
bit
younger
married?
than us. No, she's not.
So and no kids?
No kids. Nope. And
she have a job?
Yes, she does have a job.
Okay. How close is your wife with this cousin?
They grew up together, you know.
So she grew up here,
they're cousins,
and then she moved out to Oregon.
Yes.
How long ago? How long has she been out in Oregon?
A while. It's been a while before I was even in the picture. I think she was out there. The last time I saw her was probably the same day the last time you saw her, because she was in my wedding.
Oh,
she was one of my wife's bridesmaids, and that's the last time I saw her. So we've been
married
married for 5 years.
Last time your wife has seen her.
Yes. So it's been about 5 years for seeing her. So it's a, you know.
So Okay, I think about these sort of things. How many bathrooms do you have in the house?
I have 3.5.
Okay,
So the bathroom.
that's not a huge. If somebody comes over my house, I'd prefer a weekend to extended weekend,
Mhm.
and I would say they would be welcomed for a week.
Okay. This is 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, that's a lot. You know, because
And I have extra stuff that I had that.
so
there's-
now you have to do some stuff.
Well, the reason that I was like, oh, I have a hard cutoff today because I got to go home and make sure my house looks immaculate and get her the room ready that she's gonna stay in. So, but
You're such a scumbag.
And how long has this been planned?
I've known about it for maybe 3 weeks.
Okay.
So it's odd. It's odd.
2 weeks
because
is tough, man.
2 weeks
because-
is tough because anyone in your house, and like I told you about my kids, like they don't really take to strangers.
Especially if you find a 2-year-old that likes it and it doesn't tell his parents.
So it's going to be an odd. And then she's from the West Coast, so the time, like her sleep
Her
schedule is going to be
adjustment.
where she works. Like she's going to be finishing work 3 hours at maybe after because she'll work remote for some of the time.
He is absolutely right.
So she'll and okay, the worst part about it is my wife has 2 business trips she has to go to
out of
one-
town.
out of town. The first one is the day after she gets here, which is like this week. So she'll land. Then that morning, my wife has to go on a business trip. But now the first day that she's going to be there,
So the
the kids are going to be at their worst, and I have to come and I have to I can't just
'Cause you got-
ignore.
And that's the problem with people coming to your house because even the nicest person, the most laid back, you as the host feel obligation to entertain them to a certain degree.
Yes,
Like you have to be on, even after a
Yes.
long day of work where you're normally like, the kids fucking are screaming from 5 to
Yes.
5:45
Yes.
because that's when fucking kids go nuts. And you just want to, take your shoes off, lay on the couch for a minute. And then she comes and sits down.
Oh, sorry to be a downer.
You want something to drink?
Right,
You got to be like a host.
you gotta
Hostess
be
with the
on.
mostess.
All the time.
Yes. And it honestly stresses me out. Like sitting here thinking about, because the boys, they're just going to sit there and stare and maybe
Stare at her silently for 2 weeks.
And I mean, eventually
Yeah.
I hope they loosen up. And it's the first day where she's going to feel obligated to want to talk and
Hey, let's catch up.
yeah.
I'm not a
and-
catch-up
and
guy.
Neither am I. I feel like with us, if we go into a room and we haven't seen each other for months, it starts right where it left off. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right,
Like it's
absolutely.
like I saw you yesterday.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that way.
You got to do the
And-
small talk and
yeah.
ramp it
I
all
have
the
to-
way up.
and I have to get background information so that I remember, because she's no longer with the guy that she was at with our wedding. So I have to know the situation so I don't bring up that person.
I already feel like I can't poop just by thinking about like what you got to deal with. Like it would throw me way off.
And when my wife told me that she had to go on a business trip, I was like, when?
Take me with you.
And I was like, you fucking kidding me? And it's not like I can talk to anybody, but the thing is, it's like in your home, you have your routine. And
Oh, yeah, especially with kids.
Yes. And any little thing's going to throw that fucking thing off, and then it's going to get nuts.
People don't come to my house mainly because I don't invite anybody.
Yeah.
But when we got this house, we purposely got a house with an extra room so that, because my parents live out of state, although
Yeah.
my father said he's never coming to Maryland again, so it's
Up on that mountain.
so we spent too much on this house for an extra bedroom. Anyway, so if somebody's at my house, I feel like I can't go to bed until they go to bed.
Yes.
So if they're like insomniac watching TV, I feel like I'm got to sit down on the couch and
Yes.
watch whatever.
Sometimes I just fall asleep on the couch, and I'll sleep there the whole night.
Because it's your fucking
my
house.
house. Can I do that now?
I
No.
mean, as a host for 2 weeks, I would say the first 4 days you can't. You know,
She's staying at my. She's gonna stay. We have a spare bedroom, but it's my daughter's room. Well, it's not.
Is that the one in the
bedroom.
basement?
It's in the basement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a TV in that bedroom?
TV. Well, there's no TV in the bedroom, but it has there's a couch in the basement.
Right.
So it basically it's almost an apartment without. It has your own bathroom. You have your own bathroom. You have your own bedroom. You have your own area.
That helps.
So that helped, but she's. I'm gonna be yeah, you can just go down there, watch whatever you want on TV. You know, don't order pay-per-view.
No weird porn.
Yeah, no weird porn. So
rubbing his balls on his sandwich.
But yeah, it has.
And she does. Is she gonna rent a car?
She's gonna use my daughter's car.
Okay, so she can go out and
she will have to go to the family that she'll be visiting is in Waldorf.
It's an hour and 15 away.
Yeah, something like that. So, but then it's I'm giving someone my car just to drive her
what kind of maybe she's a shitty driver.
I know. I don't know this answer. So, but hopefully it all works out. But I have been thinking about it nonstop, and then today we gotta prepare for it.
How dirty is the room?
Yeah, women think that when someone's going to go in their house.
Hey, Joe, do you know what women think?
You weren't ready for the live sex show?
Yeah. They're going to judge, everything. The pillows aren't fucking on the bed correctly or something like that.
That's probably... I don't notice it, but yes.
Mostly what it is we just have to... We're transitioning clothes in and, winter clothes in for the boys,
my wife was doing that last night.
Doing all that, so that we're just trying to make sure that's all.
So how many times you want to come up here and record episodes, Steve?
We're gonna have so many episodes in the back. As long as you're available, Joe.
Joe, what's your schedule look like?
I hate to dive into this in another episode, but I feel like I need to give you guys a better answer. So I'm gonna think about this.
Joe, you don't seem to be having any fun. Are you having fun?
I want this to be fun.
It's fun.
It's not fun. This isn't fun.
Whoa, all right, buddy.
Jesus.
Yeah, all right. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at Jim Joe Steve Show. Leave a message. Please leave a review on the podcast app that you're using right now for the Jim Joe Steve Show. I'm Steve.
I'm Jim.
I'll see you next time.